Captain, we'll be finished loading the bells for St. Joseph Cathedral soon. After Brother Patrick and I check things over one last time, we'll be good to go.
That's great news, Brother Ethan. You're ahead of schedule.
Brother Matthias may have a thing with patterns, but I have a good head for spatial geometry. Our cargo bay is filled to the brim with the bells and their packaging, but they all fit. The loading team was sure we'd need to take a second run.
Good job. While Mars isn't far away, I do appreciate efficiency.
Now Brother Matthias just has to fly us. With all this weight, the Blessings will fly like a brick.
He does like a challenge.
Jeremiah, I'm glad I caught you.
Archbishop Morgan, what brings you out here?
I need a favor if you don't mind.
Of course, what do you need?
I'm sorry to ask, but I need you to clean out your mother's secondary laboratory while you're on Mars.
Her lab? That's still there? We cleaned out her Earthside lab years ago. I didn't know this one still existed. I've never actually seen it.
I was shocked as well. I don't know what strings your father pulled to maintain it there for these, 2 decades?
I guess it will be 20 years this year.
It isn't a big lab, quite small actually, which might have helped in keeping it from being reassigned. Regardless, the Daystrom Institute of Technology needs that space now. Once you've delivered your cargo for St. Joseph's, please pack up her lab and bring it back here. I'll find some place to store it until you can decide what to do with it all. I'll help, of course, if you want.
Of course, I'll want your support. Thank you for letting me do this too. It'll be like getting to know a new part of her in some ways.
I'm here if you need me in any way.
You always are. VSF Blessings, a Star Trek fan production. We may live in a broken world, a broken universe. There is good and evil, right and wrong, light and dark. But we can be the good. We can do what's right. We can be the light. And we can do it in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Sorry that landing earlier was a little hard.
You really rung our bells there, Brother Matthias.
Har.
I knew the Blessings would fly like a brick. She landed like one too.
Starships aren't typically aerodynamic. They all fly like a brick in a planet's atmosphere. However, you were right, Brother Ethan. She really flew like one this time with all the weight.
That's as close to our maximum weight limit as I ever hope to get.
All things considered, you still did a superb job. The cargo was delivered undamaged, and the VSF Blessings was unscathed.
Thank you, Captain.
St. Joseph's Cathedral is huge, isn't it? I had no idea the scale of the project.
And it's an engineering marvel. It's made from Martian stone that was hand-hewn rather than machined. I met some of the stone masons. They're sticklers for ancient tradition on stone carving and building. While they may use modern technology to move the stonework around, in the end, it will be like it was made a millennium ago. Fascinating project.
This is my first time visiting Utopia Planitia Gardens. It's my first time on Mars, actually.
Mine too, Brother Thomas. It looks like this is the place. We're right on time. Now where's...
Father Jeremiah, I presume.
Yes. Did the collar give me away?
That and the fact that you look a lot like your dad. I'm Angela Wallace from Facilities Management.
Nice to meet you, Ms. Wallace. You knew my dad?
Yes, but not well. He would stop by his wife's lab here periodically. My condolences on his passing. He was a very nice man.
That he was. Thank you. I didn't even know this lab still existed. How did Dad manage to keep the space reserved? I would have thought you would have needed the space long ago.
Honestly, I have no idea. And yes, we always need more space. The decision was above my grade. It is located off the beaten path and is comparatively small. Perhaps that helped. Shall I let you in?
Yes, please.
Let me know if you need anything.
We will. Thank you, Ms. Wallace.
Wow, it's like walking back in time 20 years. This place hasn't been touched.
I know. I'm sure my dad took comfort in that.
Is this a picture of you as a boy?
Yes, that's Mom, Dad, me, and John, Archbishop Morgan. She kept the same copy on her desk in the Earthside lab, too.
A proud mother.
It's not a hollow photo.
No, Dad took up photography for a while. He had an antique camera, dark rooms set up, and everything.
That's quite the hobby.
He liked how it caught a precise moment in time. Life goes by in a blur, and we have to capture the moments to remember, he would say. They're all I have now, these moments in time.
Quite the legacy he left you.
I hadn't thought much about it until now, but you are quite right.
What research was your mother doing?
She was working on advancing transporter capabilities.
Advancing them in what ways?
Honestly, I don't know much. Only that it dealt with research into transporter technology. I was a teenager at the time and had other things on my mind. I just knew she had this second laboratory here for some reason.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to your mother?
No one knows for sure. She was working in her lab back on Earth one night. She had some last-minute preparations she wanted to complete before running a round of tests the next day. There was a lab on the other side of campus that had an accident, an explosion. It was nowhere close to her lab, but it caused a power surge. The theory is the transporter she was working on malfunctioned as a result of the surge, locked onto my mother, and beamed her energy out into space. There was a full investigation. They found residual traces of recent transporter activity in her lab. They traced the destination to empty space. No body was ever found. Eventually, she was legally determined to be dead.
I had no idea. I'm so sorry, Captain.
I wouldn't be able to step foot on a transporter again.
Interestingly, that thought never crossed my mind. It wasn't the technology. It was a once-in-a-lifetime malfunction.
But even so, I'm sorry, Captain.
That was 20 years ago. My father and I dealt with it and slowly moved on in our own way. It wasn't easy, but I like to think she'd be proud of us for that.
I have no doubt.
Now let's get to packing up. There's some heavy equipment in here we'll have to arrange to be moved.
I'm checking it out now, Captain.
Thank you, Brother Patrick. Oh, the furniture stays here. It belongs to the Institute.
I'll start emptying any drawers. It doesn't look like there's much here.
I didn't expect there to be. She didn't work out of this lab as often as the other.
Captain, this unit is still connected to power.
What is it?
It's a transporter pod, not for beaming out, but for receiving, one way only. Interesting.
Can you disconnect it from the power conduit?
Yes, I think I can. Would you like for me to power it up first to see if there are any logs or data you'd like to recover?
Why not? Let's continue this journey of discovery one more step.
Okay, now let me see here. This should do it. The startup diagnostic says it is humming along like new.
Fantastic. Anything of note?
No personal logs, sir. There is data from transports received or attempted transports. It looks like each of them failed.
Failed?
Yes, the energy patterns had destabilized too much to be rematerialized.
Whatever she was working on, she didn't seem to be having much luck.
A lot of progress can come from failure. I believe Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work."
There's not quite 10,000 in this transport record, but there are a lot.
Mom was always persistent.
What's that?
I'm not sure. It looks like...
Looks like what?
It looks like something is beaming in, pattern is being buffered, Heisenberg compensators are activating, and...
No. Wait, it worked. Who are you?
Mom?
Mom!
You guys are a little too old for me to be your mom. Seriously, who are you, and why are you in my lab?
Wait, if you don't mind, humor me a bit first. What is your name?
Maria. Dr. Maria Hollis.
And what's the last thing you remember before materializing here?
I was in my laboratory back on Earth. There was a loud noise across the campus. The lights flickered and a control panel started behaving chaotically. The last thing I remember is the feeling of the transporter beam lock and the lightness of transport washing across me. I thought I was a goner, because nothing else I had transported had stayed together in one piece so far. Then I was standing here looking at you guys. Now your turn.
This is Brother Matthias, Brother Patrick, Brother Thomas, and Brother Ethan.
And you are?
I am Captain,
Captain who?
Captain Jeremiah Hollis.
Wait, that's my son's name. And you look like my husband, James. Are you related? Some cousin I've yet to meet?
No, I am your son. It's me, Jeremiah.
But you're my age.
As your son, I know that you want to establish reality quickly with facts so the appropriate emotions can follow second. Navigate with your mind and steer with your heart, you always said. You disappeared 20 years ago in a transporter accident. The investigations concluded that your energy had been scattered into space.
I'm afraid you have me confused with someone else. I just left my son and husband not 2 hours ago. They're safe at home. Transporters are not time machines.
Check the chronometer on the control panel over there. You'll see that almost 20 years exactly have passed since your last memory.
What you say appears to be true. I think I'm in shock. 20 years.
I'm sorry to spring this all on you like this, but you always liked to know the facts as quickly as you could.
That's right, thank you. Still, 20 years.
It was an eternity for me.
And a bat of an eye for me. How do I get back?
In my timeline, you don't.
You're telling me that I left you. I left my son for 20 years.
Yes, you did, but I think I turned out okay.
Captain, you said? And of course a priest as well, if I read the collar correctly. I'm sure John is pleased.
It is Archbishop Morgan now.
Archbishop? I have been gone for a while.
Is it really you, Mom?
As far as I know, it's me. Is it really you, Jeremiah?
As far as I know, it's me. I have missed you so much, beyond words.
I'm sorry. I never would have chosen to leave you.
I know. I've always known that.
I'm still not convinced this isn't a dream, you know.
Me too. I don't want to wake up yet.
You look so much like your father.
That's what everyone tells me.
I need to call him. If all of this is true, James needs to know I'm alive.
I was dreading getting to this part. I have something to tell you about Dad.
Oh, my dear Jeremiah. First, you lose me. Then we nearly lost you with this horrid Borg incident. Then you witnessed the loss of your father. My heart breaks for you, my son.
I try to be stronger because of it.
You sound just like your father.
It's a lot to take in, I know, but I think it's time we call John next. He's had to lose all three of us at one point or another. He could really use this good news.
Of course. Our dear friend John.
Brother Matthias, could you please contact Archbishop Morgan? We'll want visuals.
Will do, Captain.
Is it weird that I can't wait to see his face?
I'm right there with you, Mom. He couldn't look any more surprised than I did.
Yes, Captain Hollis? How's it going at the lab?
It's going better than I thought. We found something. Someone.
Someone?
Yes, have a look.
No, it can't be true. Maria,
It's me, John.
how can it possibly be you after all these years? After 20 years, you haven't aged a day.
It's good to see you, old friend.
And she's truly only aged a few hours, not 20 years.
I don't understand.
When we powered up the equipment here, there was suddenly an incoming transport signal. Then Mom appeared.
But how?
We don't know yet. Oh, I feel really dizzy.
Here, sit down, Dr. Hollis.
Jeremiah, what's happening? We need to get her checked out.
I agree. Brother Thomas, if you would.
That was a rough transport. Her body is still reacting from the effects of whatever she went through. There's some intermolecular instability.
Oh no, I of all people know how serious that is. I come all this way, all these years, just to fall apart.
Medical technology has come a long way in 20 years, Dr. Hollis. Unfortunately, I don't have the information required to tell you your prognosis. We need to get you to a medical facility quickly.
St. Francis Hospital is probably your best bet. It's not far away.
And I think I know just the doctor to call.
Doctor, what's the diagnosis? Give it to me straight.
You've been through a lot, Mrs. Hollis. Your body has to adjust both physically and temporally. Our first step will be to get you stabilised, and then we'll start treatments to return everything back to within standard parameters. My team is locating your medical records from 20 years ago to help establish what those are for you.
Will she be okay?
My team is already making the preparations. If all goes to plan, I'm optimistic.
I'll take optimistic, Doctor. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mrs. Hollis. It's good to see you, Thomas.
Same here.
You two know each other?
He didn't tell you? We're brothers. Biological brothers.
No, he hadn't had time yet. He just said he knew just the doctor to call.
And he was right. Not too many doctors on Mars have had experience in such unusual cases such as this.
When he was in med school, he did his rounds at a facility that specialized in anomalous medical conditions from across the quadrant.
When we were in medical school.
You were in med school, Brother Thomas? But you're always reminding us that you are a med tech, not a doctor.
And I am.
Now that is rich. He graduated at the top of his class, Father. He had better grades and recommendations than me. To see him wasting it is unbearable.
I don't know if I can handle any more surprises today.
My calling to God was stronger than my family's calling that I should be a medical doctor.
It's time we start stabilising Mrs. Hollis. My team's here. We can continue this discussion later, brother.
You are the best in what you do, Leonard. I pray for God to give you the wisdom and guidance you need to help her.
I don't remember seeing anything about attending med school in your personnel file, Brother Thomas. Did I miss that detail?
No, I'm sure you did not.
Then why was it omitted?
By my request.
I'm starting to pry here, I know, but I need to know the capabilities of my crew. I hope you understand.
I do.
Then why did you request this pertinent piece of information be omitted?
To answer that question, you need to know something about my family.
And that would be?
My family is very medically focused, you might say. Everyone in my family goes into a medical field of one form or another. Medical doctors, medical researchers, psychologists, surgeons, everyone.
Those are all noble professions.
Absolutely they are. The expectations and pressures are astronomical to follow in the footprints of those who came before us. We are a medical family. Some would say we are a historic medical family.
Historic? What do you mean by that?
I mean, my great-grandfather is Admiral Leonard McCoy.
One of the most famous doctors in the Federation.
And his father was a doctor, too.
That is quite the bloodline. Your last name is Breeden, so he's your maternal great-grandfather then.
Yes, he is.
So why did you go to medical school if you didn't want to?
Like I said, it was all the pressure. There simply was no other choice. I told my parents I wanted a religious life. They said that was a waste of my God-given talents. So I forged ahead. I excelled. My family was ecstatic. Then, when I graduated, I handed my parents the degree and headed off to a monastery I had already applied to.
That must have caused quite the stir.
That is an understatement, Captain. Let's just say members of my family were eventually banned from the grounds of the monastery.
Oh, geez. That explains your brother's reaction earlier.
He was muted compared to normal.
Perhaps he's coming to accept your choice.
It would take a miracle for that to happen.
And prayer.
There's been plenty of that from both sides, I can assure you.
I can imagine. So, are you actually a doctor, or are you a med tech?
I'm truly a med tech. I graduated, yes, but I never applied for my medical license.
I see. Well, we're lucky to have you.
Thank you, Captain.
If you didn't want to go into medicine, why did you sign up to be the med tech on the VSF Blessings?
It's not that I don't like medicine. It's not that at all. It's just that God was calling me harder and first. I wanted the freedom to follow that calling, wherever it led me. I actually do like medicine and helping people, but I do not like crowded settings like this hospital. Regarding signing up for the Blessings, I didn't. One of my mentors, Brother Hardesty, knows Archbishop Morgan rather well. When mention was made of staffing a new ship with a med tech, Brother Hardesty thought it was just what I needed to figure myself out.
And was it?
It's still a work in progress, but yes, I believe it was just what the doctor ordered.
Ha 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 ha. That's good to hear. Thank you for sharing. Now that we got that out of the way, is that Archbishop Morgan I see bustling our way?
I do believe so.
I knew he'd catch the first Mars-bound ship and be here stat. He may have even commandeered one. The luxury of being an archbishop and running the Vatican space fleet. Having my mom back is the next best thing to having my dad back for him.
Indeed, you have that in common, I'm sure.
Indeed.
Jeremiah, so good to see you. Any news on your mother?
They are working with her now. The doctor is optimistic, he said.
Good. When can we see her?
We don't know yet. The doctor hasn't spoken to us since the initial evaluation and they started the treatments.
Why don't I go see what this medtech uniform will let me find out in this Catholic hospital?
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Hello, by the way, Brother Thomas.
Hello, Your Grace.
There goes a good man.
I know.
His brother is Mom's doctor, by the way.
I know.
Their great-grandfather is Admiral Leonard McCoy.
I know.
My med tech actually graduated from med school and got high marks.
I know.
And you didn't think the captain of the ship needed to know that?
No. What would it have changed?
My impression and expectations of him, I guess.
Precisely. He's had enough of that.
Huh. Why do I always feel like you're a few steps ahead of me?
Because I am older and wiser and always have your best interests in mind.
Ha ha ha. I simply don't know what I would do without you, John.
Look who I ran into halfway down the hall.
How's your patient, Doctor?
Mrs. Hollis is doing quite well.
It's Dr. Hollis, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, medical doctor?
No, but she's held in high regard within her field.
Then I will give her the respect she deserves. Dr. Hollis is doing well. The treatments are working as expected.
Is she out of the woods yet?
Not all the way, but nearly there.
Thank God and all his grace. When can we see her?
Not yet. The team is still working through a few things, but soon. She tells me she has no idea how she got here from 20 years ago.
That's true. She was working with transporter technology, not temporal.
I have a team of experts already checking her lab and poring over the records from 20 years ago. If it's to be found out, they will.
You may find some clues from the medical scans we took as well, if she consents to releasing them.
Good idea. I'll discuss that with her at the appropriate time.
Now, I must get back to my other patients for a bit. Your mother is in excellent hands, and someone will be out to get you soon, I'm sure.
Thank you, Doctor. You have my gratitude and prayers.
I appreciate both.
The captain says his mother is responding well to treatment.
That's a relief to hear. Our prayers are being answered.
Now, if we could figure out how all this happened in the first place, Dr. Melton, have you found anything new in the records?
Not yet, Brother Patrick, but the day is young.
It seems to me the two greatest mysteries are those of distance and time.
I concur.
Distance and time?
Yes, distance because a typical transporter has a range of around 40,000 kilometers, but Mars is 225 million kilometers from her lab on Earth. That's over, what? A 5,000 times difference.
Wow!
I know of no current technology within the Federation that can bridge that astronomical gap. And time because, as we know, she appears to have traveled 20 years into the future.
What was Dr. Hollis working on?
My colleague here can answer that. He was part of the original investigation. Brother Philip, can you bring these gentlemen up to speed, please, on what we know about the Hollis incident? Archbishop Morgan asked that they have full access to the investigation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was a bit distracted by what Brother Patrick said. Sure, bring them up to speed.
Thank you.
Dr. Hollis was working on ultra-long-range transporter technology. Ultra-long-range on an interplanetary scale.
Interplanetary transporters. That could revolutionize how goods and materials are shipped within a solar system. Less time loading, unloading, and nearly zero transit time.
Precisely, Brother Ethan. Those distances are far beyond our current capabilities. The transport energy stream destabilizes to such an extreme extent that it cannot be materialized on the other side.
That explains all the failures we saw in the transporter's logs.
Yes, it does. You see, Dr. Hollis took an unorthodox approach to her studies. She started at the end and was working backwards. She started with the failures, creating hundreds of them, and looked for the commonalities and patterns.
Because if they existed, they could be incorporated into the Heisenberg compensators to extend the range, for example.
Yes, that was the plan, and it was a good one. It doesn't answer the questions, however, of how did Dr. Hollis survive such a journey, and why it took 20 years. Her research was nowhere near achieving any semblance of success yet. Plus, transporters aren't known for their time-traveling abilities. Like Brother Patrick said, it's a question of distance and time.
Reviewing the last record in the log when Dr. Hollis materialized, there are some peculiarities that will require further study.
What are these peculiarities?
I cannot be certain yet, but they look like temporal signatures.
I can't say I'm shocked by that.
Neither am I, Brother Philip. It's the way they are integrated within the transport matrix that is a bit shocking. Also, where did they come from?
Interesting, Dr. Melton. Let's finish up gathering our data here and move on to our field office. The Daystrom Institute has space and computer access reserved for us nearby. We need to tease some answers out of all this soon.
Absolutely, I can't wait to get their computers chewing on this conundrum. Nearly finished.
The VSF Blessings and her crew stand ready to help too.
And we'll need it, Brother Matthias. There's some information I was hoping you could bird dog for us.
Mom, how are you feeling?
I'm tired and a little nauseous. The doctor said it's normal and will pass soon enough.
That's good. I still can't believe you're here lying in a biobed right in front of me.
And I can't believe I'm looking at a son who's my age now.
Yeah, that is a little weird, isn't it?
More than a little. I'll get used to it, though. When you're a teenager, you're forming your habits and mannerisms you'll carry into adulthood. I recognize the teenage Jeremiah that I left earlier today in you. That familiarity is comforting.
I'm glad, Mom. I have someone outside in the alcove anxious to see you. He wanted us to have our time first.
John, of course. Our dear old friend, John. Always cautious to not overstep. John, get in here!
Maria, I am stunned beyond my wits. You are here, in front of us.
Ta-da!
I'm so sorry about James.
I'm still processing that, John. I know it hasn't hit me yet with all that's been going on. Intellectually, I know you have told me he's gone. Emotionally, it hasn't connected yet.
I understand. We're here when you need us.
You always are, John.
He never stopped loving you.
And I'll never stop loving him.
Before I start getting all emotional, my crew is working with the personnel John sent to figure out what happened. They've been gathering data and are analyzing it using the Daystrom's computers now.
I've been clearing some roadblocks for them so they get what they need.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Thank you, John. It's all been running around in my brain since I materialized here. Nothing I was doing should have resulted in this. I should have died in the transport. My patterns should have destabilized long before arriving here.
We'll figure it out eventually, I pray. In the meantime, let's thank God for making it so.
That's an excellent idea.
Jeremiah, would you?
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. We praise you, Father of all. We thank you for delivering us to this day of unexpected reunion of our family once thought lost.
Let's run a regression analysis on the materialization data to see if there is a causal relationship with a temporal component.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Oh good, you guys are back, Brother Matthias.
What did you find out?
We found out plenty.
We just received multiple packets of data from them. I'll forward them to you here.
Did they resist much?
They abruptly ended communications with us twice.
Archbishop Morgan soon cleared away all obstacles, though. Apparently, he knows people who know people.
So, what did they tell you about the laboratory, where the explosion occurred 20 years ago on Earth?
They were studying temporal phenomena. Security measures got triggered, which started automatic protocols to purge all the data and destroy any time studies equipment. When one of the scientists tried to shut down the emergency measures to save their work, he caused a power surge that fed back through the power grid and caused the explosion. Dr. Hollis's laboratory was one of several impacted.
It caused quite the mess in the temporal lab.
Except for the triggered security measure, we already knew most of that.
Yes, but the part that took Archbishop Morgan's influence is what we found out next. The mess in the temporal lab, as Brother Ethan put it, involved a mess with time, too. There were temporal bubbles.
Bubbles?
More precisely, they were gravity-bound, two-dimensional temporal bubbles.
Huh. And did they extend as far as Dr. Hollis's laboratory?
No, that's what's not connecting yet.
I was thinking on the way over that perhaps the story we know up to now is precisely what happened. The power surge caused the explosion. Dr. Hollis's transporter malfunctioned. Because of it, locked onto her and beamed her away. It wasn't necessarily where it beamed her though, but what it beamed her through.
I beamed her through. Of course!
Of course what?
Follow me. Dr. Melton, bring up the 3D projection of the laboratory complex.
Yes, I think I see where you're going with this. This here's the temporal lab, and this is Dr. Hollis's lab over here to the left.
Now, can you overlay the location data of the temporal bubbles in the second data packet I sent, please?
Yes, I believe I can do that. Give me a moment. I will play it from the moment of the explosion forward. The temporal bubbles will be displayed in blue. I've sped it up for our first viewing since the data covers a 20-minute span.
Very nicely done, Dr. Melton. There are so many of them.
When precisely did Dr. Hollis beam out? Do we have that data?
Yes, we do. I'll indicate in yellow when her transport sequence happens on the playback. Let's watch it again.
So the temporal bubbles definitely coincide with her transport, but they were way across campus.
And that's okay, because I believe she went to them. Dr. Melton, can you show us the trajectory of her transporter beam as it left her lab as well?
Let me find that. I think I can... Watch for a green beam emitting from her lab. I'll start playback now.
Well, George, that's it.
What's it?
The transport beam travels right through one of the temporal bubbles. That has to explain Dr. Hollis traveling 20 years into the future.
It is certainly the only temporal variable we've seen so far.
Perhaps the last piece of the puzzle that we found out is the Daystrom Institute has been tracking the appearance of the other side of these bubbles for years. One of them reappeared this morning at the same time Dr. Hollis appeared.
And I'd bet dollars to donuts it was the same temporal bubble as the one shown here that her transport beam crossed, just 20 years later.
And according to the data, the coordinates line up. I believe you are correct. Wow.
And 20 years ago, the trajectory was pointed to empty space. What about the transport beam trajectory this morning as it emerged from the other side of this bubble?
Pointed right at Mars.
Sakes alive, I think we've got it.
But they said these are gravity-bound phenomena. They would not have been anywhere near close enough to Mars for a successful transport. The temporal bubble was still here on Earth.
You are correct, Brother Ethan. There must be something else at play.
Would you please increase magnification on the moment when the beam intersects with the bubble, Dr. Melton? Thank you. Do you see how it doesn't cross through the middle of the temporal bubble, but through the edge instead? The edge looks murky, almost foamy.
Temporal foam?
Heaven knows what impact that could have on a transport beam. Perhaps it could explain the temporal traces you saw integrated with the beam, Dr. Melton.
This chronophysics is starting to get beyond my level of expertise. We've come a long way with the information gathered so far, though.
We sure have, with real progress to report back to the captain and Archbishop Morgan.
My team will dig into this new temporal information we just discovered. We'll let you know if we find out anything more.
Thank you.
Brothers, good to see you.
You as well, Captain.
I almost have all your names straight now. Brother Matthias, Brother Patrick, Brother Ethan, and of course Brother Thomas, who diligently looks over the shoulder of every nurse and doctor poking and prodding me. I'm so glad you're here.
Well done, Dr. Hollis. You've had quite the day so far.
And I'm not done hovering yet.
Yours were the first faces I saw in this new world I've found myself in. Plus, you serve with my son. I suspect we'll all be getting to know each other better soon enough.
What have you found out so far about Mom's transporter incident?
I'm happy to report we've found out quite a lot, Captain. Where to start?
Start with the explosion.
Yes, the explosion in the lab across campus was triggered by a security breach, which executed automatic protocols to delete data and destroy equipment. One of the scientists tried to stop it, but it caused a power surge in the grid, which, as we know, impacted your mother's lab.
The transporter started malfunctioning. The control panel went all chaotic. It wouldn't take any of the commands I entered. Then it locked onto me. I couldn't stop it. All I remember saying was, "No, no, no."
We heard the tail end of that when you materialized. The next piece of the puzzle we found out was the explosion in the temporal lab caused time bubbles to appear above the facility.
Gravity-bound two-dimensional time bubbles.
The time bubbles were restricted to above the lab and did not come anywhere near your mother's facility.
I see. So, how are they related to all this?
Because your mother's transport beam came to them, we determined she passed right through one.
And the other end of that same time bubble appeared this morning when Dr. Hollis materialized in front of us.
Of course.
And there's more. While the transporter trajectory was aimed at empty space 20 years ago, when it emerged from the time bubble on Earth this morning, it was aimed straight at Mars.
But the energy beam still had to travel all those millions of kilometers. How in the world did it not destabilize like everything else?
Brother Ethan asked the same question, and we do not know. One last piece of information is the transport beam did not pass directly through the middle of the time bubble, but through the edge, where the phenomenon looked almost foamy. Brother Ethan called it temporal foam.
Very interesting. Could the temporal anomaly have stabilized the beam in some way? Did it act like a time lens of some sort, slowing down the degradation until I reached Mars? Did this temporal foam stick to my energy beam, somehow preserving it?
Dr. Melton did mention seeing some temporal signatures in the transporter record.
Just when my mind was starting to wander to how a scientist from 20 years ago would still be relevant, you bring me this. That's assuming these things haven't already been researched and discovered.
Oh, I assure you, Dr. Hollis, you're exploring unknown territory here. Your relevance is still solidly intact.
Thinking this through a bit, you're telling me that 20 years ago, my mother's transporter peered through an anomaly in time and found the transport receiver's beacon, the beacon that we had just switched on, and beamed my mother to it.
Yes, that's what we're telling you.
My father apparently visited the lab regularly. I can only imagine that he turned that unit on multiple times and nothing happened. But the day we arrive and do the same thing, we find my mother not a day older than when I had last seen her.
Yes, Captain.
If there is one thing I know about temporal mechanics, son, you could drive yourself mad thinking about the what-ifs. It is what it is. What happened, happened. No one could have known. No one is to blame. We are together now, and that's what counts.
And that's what counts. You're right, of course, Mom. It just hit me a little hard that I played an unknowing hand in taking you away from us, from Dad, all those years ago.
God works in mysterious ways, son. He must have a reason beyond our current understanding.
God works in mysterious ways, that's for sure.
Hello, everyone. Are we having a party?
This merry band of brothers were sharing their fascinating findings about how I got here, Dr. Leonard.
Good. I can't wait to hear more, I hope. But in the meantime, you need your rest, Dr. Hollis. You still have more treatments scheduled, and you'll need your energy. I need everyone out of the room. Your son is welcome to stay, of course.
Thank you all. I truly appreciate all your efforts. You're doing such a good job.
We'll let you know if we find out anything else.
Thank you, Brother Matthias.
Leonard, do you have a moment to talk?
Talk about what?
You know about what?
I thought we'd said all there was to say long ago, Thomas.
I just wish that wasn't the end of it, Leonard. I miss you. I miss talking to you. I even miss arguing with you. I'm where I am, and you're where you are. We're both happy, I assume.
Are you really happy, Thomas?
I really am.
Even while pretending to be less than you are?
I am being who I need to be at the moment.
Don't you find it boring?
Honestly, I have never found it boring. The time for introspection and prayer to connect with God is close to paradise for me.
It wouldn't be for me.
I'm not you.
No, you're not. I know that. You are a good doctor, you realise.
That's what my grades and advisors told me. I'm a good medtech as well.
I bet you are.
Can we change our relationship, brother? I miss you so desperately. I have prayed so fervently that one day how we interact would heal.
Okay. I see no need for you to continue to waste such prayers on me when others need them more. I love you, Thomas. You're my brother. My older brother. I've only wanted what's best for you.
I know that. And I love you too.
But what I think is best, and what you think is best, are two disparately different things.
It may seem that way at first, but when you dig down to the foundations of it all, I suspect we ultimately want the same things.
You always were the deep thinker in the family.
Someone had to be.
Ha ha. Okay, I'll give it a go.
Brothers forever.
Brothers forever. I will do my best to lighten up on you. We are grown, intelligent men after all. Perhaps dinner soon.
I would really like that. Thank you, Leonard.
What are brothers for?
Jeremiah, you have quite the ship in the VSF Blessings. John was telling me she's more than a typical ship of her make and design.
That she certainly is. She's been treating us well.
Brother Matthias made such a smooth landing. I've never experienced that from the bridge of a starship before. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mom. Captain's discretion.
You're restricted from transporter use for the next few weeks while you recover. Doctor's orders. The most logical way to get from the surface of Mars to the surface of Earth was the VSF Blessings. Archbishop's discretion.
Ha ha ha. I have a lot of adjusting to do anyway. That will keep me busy, I'm sure.
Sorry about getting rid of almost all of your clothes. Dad kept a few favorites, though.
I'm curious to see what those were. I hope he didn't keep that green sweater his mother got me our first Christmas together. It was hideous, but he always talked me into wearing it around her during the holidays.
I remember that one.
Me too. Because I saw it a few months ago when looking in his closet.
Ha ha, that's my James.
Your ID is outdated. They've upgraded the system in the 20 years you were gone, with new codes and all. I've started the process to get you a new one. Someone will be in contact in the next few days.
Thank you, John. You always were one for details. I don't know what I would do without you, my dear friend.
We're here, Mom.
I know, Jeremiah.
He kept the same old key and antique mechanical lock.
Of course James did. I still have my key, too. In my mind, I only left this house a few days ago. I half expect to find both James and teenage you behind that door.
If only that were true.
You're going to bring some much-needed warmth to this home. Warmth that only a mother can bring.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm nervous.
I'd be worried if you weren't.
Once I enter this door, James's passing will be real for me. There's no going back after that. I'm in this world of denial at the moment. I'm afraid of the emotions that lie just ahead.
We've been in that very spot, Maria. On this very doorstep.
I know.
And it was not easy, Mom. It was painful and hard. But what I remember most about it is we had each other, John and me.
That's what I most remember too.
And I have you too.
You absolutely do, Mom.
Without doubt, Maria.
It's time.
You have been listening to VSF Blessings, a Star Trek fan production. Episode 9, Timing. Created, written, produced, directed, and audio engineered by James McDonald. Story consultation provided by Noah McDonald. All character voices were generated using 11 Labs AI voice generator. Sound effects from Pixabay.com under free use content licenses and TrekCore.com. Star Trek and all related marks, logos, and characters are solely owned by CBS Studios, Inc. This fan production is not endorsed by, sponsored by, nor affiliated with CBS, Paramount Pictures, or any other Star Trek franchise, and is a non-commercial fan-made production intended for recreational use. No commercial exhibition or distribution is permitted. No alleged independent rights will be asserted against CBS or Paramount Pictures. Until next time, be the good, do what's right, and be the light.